Hello everyone, my name is Shiva Singh. I am your new physics teacher. Today I am going to teach you force. So first of all, you have to ignore this whiteboard. Since market was closed, so I could not buy a real whiteboard. So please take it. So today we are going to teach you what is force. So force has a very simple definition. If we pull something, suppose this is an object. This is an object. If I try to pull it, or I try to push it, so we applying force on this. So basically push or pull something is called as force. See, this is a marker in my hand. If I try to push it, it is moving. Here I am applying a force, that is letting it moving forward. If I am pulling it, it is moving. Now I am applying a backward force and it is moving forward. So basically what is force? Force is something, if we try to pull or push any object, is called as force. Suppose, let me take you another example. You ride a bicycle. Suppose it is you and you are riding a bicycle. What happened? When you apply force on the pedals with your legs, your bicycle moves forward, right? What if you stop applying the force? What happened if you stop applying the force? After some time your bicycle will stop. Right? After some time your bicycle will stop. Why? Have you ever imagined why my cycle stops when you stop pedaling? Let me tell you why. Because here on the earth, there is a force being applied between the tires of your cycle and the surface of earth. Between the surface of earth and between the tires, a force is being applied, which is a force between the tires and a force between the tire and earth. A backward force is being applied, that is called as friction. So friction is a force. What is friction? Friction is a force that applies when two surfaces are in the contact. For example, my hand and my another hand. If I try to rub them very fastly, so what happened? If I rub it very fast, what happens? Heat is generated because both the surfaces are applying force, which is called as friction force. If you do it fast, and energy is generated because of the friction. So there are two types of forces generally. What are they? Unbalanced force and balanced force. So as their name suggests, balanced force and unbalanced force. So let us go with the balanced force. So what is balanced force? When on an object, suppose you and your brother are applying force on any object equally. For example, you are pushing this object. At the same time, in this direction, your brother is pushing this force in the opposite direction. You are pushing it in the forward direction, your brother is pushing it in the backward direction. Now what happens? Your brother's force and your force equalify itself and it will become null or zero. It is, for example, say it is 5 Newton of force applying you and 5 Newton of force is applied by your brother in opposite direction. So 5 Newton in opposite direction, so we will minus it 5 direction. It will what? 5 minus 5, 0. Now notice one thing, I have wrote n here. What is n? N is the unit of force. N is the unit of force. It is called as Newton. So what we have studied? Force. What is force? Push or pull is called as force. There are two types of forces, balanced and unbalanced forces. Now how unbalanced force works? Suppose you and your brother are applying a force on any object in different forces. For example, you are applying 50 Newton of force and your brother is applying 25 Newton of force, right, in the opposite direction. Now what will happen? This 50 Newton of force will be subtracted by this 25 Newton of force and it will be plus 25 Newton. So in which direction motion will happen? Then motion will happen in the forward direction because there is a greater force. This is all we do in our daily life, right? So we have studied balanced force. If both the forces are equal, it is balanced force. If one side force is greater than the other side, then it is called as unbalanced force. Okay. So we must have seen a lot of different types of forces in our life. For example, you must have heard about gravitational force. What is gravitational force? So the force created by the earth or the earth attracts any object is called as gravitational force. For example, we are standing on the earth or any object, any meteor, if it comes in the influence of the earth's gravity, it is earth. If any meteor is passing by and comes under the influence of earth's gravity, it get attracted by earth's gravitational force and it fall onto the earth. We are standing on the earth because of gravitational force. Similarly, you must heard about the magnetic force. What is magnetic force? As its name suggests, the force of attraction or repulsion between the two magnets is called as magnetic force. Suppose there are two magnets. Let me take example of bar magnet. It has one north and it has one south pole. And I take a similar magnet which has a top north and bottom south. What happens? The north and south opposite poles, north and south opposite poles attract each other. So they will be attracted, right? And if the poles are similar, south and south, then they will be repelled by each other. So same forces attract each other, opposite forces repel each other in the magnetic force. Similarly, there is a force that I have taught you earlier, frictional force. So if somebody asks you what is friction or what is a frictional force, so the force between the two surfaces is called as frictional force. If somebody asks you, can friction be applied if surfaces does not touch each other? Suppose if my hand is up here and the second hand is down here, so can friction be applied on my hands? No. If two surfaces come in the contact, only then frictional force is applied. Okay, so we have learned about force. Force is what? Push or pull. Types of forces. So we studied balanced and unbalanced forces. Balanced forces are the forces if equal amount of force is applied by two sides, it is balanced. If one force is greater, other is smaller, then it will be unbalanced force. Now let me tell you, see one thing. this is an object, right? This is an object. If it is an object, it must have something. It must have something like it's. If I am here, then I have some mass, I have some weight, right? So it has some mass. Suppose it has mass of 5 kg. Mass. If I am applying force, it is moving. It is moving. So it has some speed. It will get some speed in time. So mass into acceleration is force. If somebody asks you what is the formula of force, so you can simply say that F is equal to ma. M stand for mass, A stand for acceleration. So force is mass into acceleration, and since that this phenomena was given by the scientist named as Newton, so the unit of force is Newton, or simply we can say that mass. We say mass in kg. Acceleration is meter per square, right? Acceleration is speed upon time. Speed is meter and time is per second. So basically kg meter per second is called as a Newton, and it is the unit of force. So this is all about force. Thank you guys.